Hi, and welcome to One Vote, One Voice. You're wondering why this all began. A bunch of people got together from all walks of life, parties, genders. We've come together. We're able to talk. We've come up with a solution to what we feel is a problem. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. How many people did not vote in this past election? Let me share with you what happened. 92 million people, over 92 million people did not vote. First reason is this: because they felt their voice did not count. The second reason, time constraints. Listen to what we are proposing here. Minds of Republicans and Democrats, unaffiliated liberals and conservatives. We've all sat down and come up with a solution. Perfect it may not be, but what we are offering is a solution to a problem. So what we're going to ask is that you have an open mind, that you hear us first before you sit there and say, oh, it's not going to work. Because if you're going to say that right off the cuff, you're part of the problem. Have an open mind, listen to what we're proposing, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Listen to how they all marry in together, how 1 ties into 2 to get the qualified people for the positions, 3 and 4 to make for sure that we all marry this and unify this. In 1796, what happened is we had a president and a vice president that were not elected together. That caused a lot of problems. So what they decided after that election, after one time saying that there were problems, they just said, you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to allow that to happen again. So we're going to allow them to run together. What they didn't realize some 230 years later is that we have a divide in our country so great, we could possibly implode. We have Republicans so far this way. We have Democrats so far this way. We got to bring it back together, guys. We got to be able to talk again. We got to be able to communicate, get back on the same page of being an American before you are a Republican, before you're a Democrat. So here is a concept that we would like to propose to you. Think of this. The vice president and the president. Okay, they're elected right now primarily by the Electoral College, correct? Okay, how do we include the popular vote? How are we going to include 92 million people? How are they going to feel engaged? What we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to bring up a position from one of the executive cabinets, the Secretary of State. We're going to bring that up, and we're going to marry it. What we're going to do is we're going to break down, this is going to be the Vice President of Domestic Affairs. This position will run America. This person will select all of the executive cabinet members that helps run America. This person, this position, will be the Vice President of Foreign Affairs. Okay? Now, he will be in charge of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, and the departments for him. Now, with that being said, they will report to the President for the final decision. But they will be given autonomy to work and to work in their positions. Vice President of Foreign Affairs, Vice President of Domestic Affairs. When we established the Constitution by 13 men in 1797, we were 13 colonies. We had a little over 4 million people. We're 50 states now. We have 330 million people. And to expect one person to be able to do that and the world is just way too much. So let's help him out by giving our vice president, who really doesn't do anything now anyways, why don't we give him some work? Let him work. Let him run America. So this person needs to be diversified in being able to run America. Business experience maybe, Vice President of Foreign Affairs, maybe Secretary of State. These are qualified positions here. Now, it would be nice to have the president who knows both. Here's how we get qualified people. Number one, they can't run together. None of these positions can run together. They all have to run independently. That's good for the media. It's good for the parties, because now then they have another candidate that they can raise money for. But what it does is this. to respect the Electoral College because it has a great service in our country. The Electoral College, their votes will go for the vice presidents. And here's where the popular vote comes in. We have complained in 2 elections that the popular vote does not count. Your vote, one voice will count. You will elect the president. Now, do you see what we just did? We took those people who feel that their votes don't count and we've added you in. People that don't have the time. One of our petitions is, let's make voting a national holiday. Then we take that excuse away. Let's get this 40% of Americans who don't vote the ability, the right to vote. Let's allow them the presidency. Let's respect the Electoral College and give them the vice presidencies. Simple. This is done in the military. There is a commander that's in charge of military operations and one that's in supplies and operations. This is not a foreign concept. It's easily done. It can be done. If we can make it against the law to drink with Article 18, and then in Article 21, just a few years later, say it's legal to drink, we can do anything we want. But it's got to be your vote. It's got to be your voice. And what we're asking you to do is to think about this. If you don't agree with it, then tell us. Tell us, just write us, blog us. Let us know what would work. Because you know what, guys? The simpler we keep it, the better it'll be. So this is our concept. This is number 1. Please stay tuned to number 2, and then our petitions. It's your vote and it's your voice.